YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Buddha back in the building for another Nier reincarnation video. Oh, it's been a while since your boy has filmed a video, but we are back. I'm so sorry IRL got in the way a little bit, but we're back to filming some interesting things that I could find on Nier reincarnation. And today's video, first I need to just give a huge shout out to Yuuru, or on YouTube I think his channel is Nier Re Math or something like that. I'm gonna link it so that you have a way to go check him out. He, I can tell, is just a great asset to the Nier reincarnation community. In his videos, he breaks down like numbers, and he's got spreadsheets and exact amounts when it comes to calculating certain things. So his videos are going to be very, very much more detailed than mine, but I'd still like to highlight some things, some resources that he's put on the Nier Reincarnation Discord that I'm a part of, so that we can get an overview of certain information that I'm sure a lot of people are still curious about, especially those who are new to the game. And that is looking at these dark memory characters. I had a Nier Reincarnation video that's doing pretty well, just talking about the beginning steps and stages to start farming the dark memory quests in order to get these certain characters. But a lot of people, because it takes so long to acquire one of them, they want to know which ones should I start down the path of. And I want to make an intermediate guide going a little more into detail of things that I've learned in terms of how to farm the stage efficiently, other ways to farm the stages, alternative ways. So look out for that video if you're curious, but I think this is also a good video to make, just looking at each one of these characters and seeing which one sounds like they're the right fit for you. In this video, I'm only going to review up to the amount of characters we have in the American client right now. There are 3 characters you can see right next to me that you're probably thinking, oh, I don't recognize them. Well, those are the characters that are out on JP as well. So I don't want to look at them. I'll probably look at them as they get released on the global timeline, but so far we only have up to Griff right here. These 9 characters are going to be who we're checking out in this video. If I zoom in, we can start with Rion right here. This is the detailed guide. I'm going to link this resource in the description as well, so you have access to it if you want to look at it on your own time. But we have the column describing all of the different attributes that we're taking a look at. And I'm planning on just breaking down the interesting main parts of these characters that I look for. Starting with Rion, the first character featured in the story. He is more of a support slash healer style unit. You can see his base stat values and then with his rank bonuses as well. And then here we can see what his passives do. It looks like he's going to get the toughness effect with that HP plus 40%. And then it looks like the passive that you unlock after ascending the character once is a dark resistance of 25%. Remember, every character has 2 passive skills, one that you can either unlock with a duplicate or with these handbooks. So I'm not sure how the duplicates for these dark memory characters are going to be handled per se, if you then get max duplicates of them once you unlock them, or if then there is a further grinding process to get dark memory handbooks, which I haven't seen yet, but that's what it will take to unlock this passive. I imagine the element resistance, dark in Rion's case, and then of course you use other materials to then upgrade them to their max potential of what we see here, HP 40% and then dark res of 25%. I'm not sure if Yuuru made this spreadsheet here, but whoever did, I mean, they did an incredible breakdown. He goes as far as to then rate each one of these damage rankings. So like 7,400 against 8,000 defense is a D, 12,600 is an A, S tier 16,569. So really cool breakdown. So make sure to check this out on your own time just to get a full rundown of how these characters look. But again, we're just looking at the passives, characters, and their individual unique traits. And then in terms of Rion himself, for a skill effect, he's going to give a 3-turn 10% heal. So here you can see the duration, 3-turn. It is an AoE for the entire team. And then I also want to look at the weapons that are associated with these dark memory characters, just to give a complete breakdown of how these characters are designed to perform. Of course, giving them different weapons is going to change the two active skills that the weapon can perform in battle. But the fact is that you need to level these weapons in order to get the character, so at the end you're going to have pretty much a completely built weapon that correlates with that character very nicely. So starting with Rion's staff, Glimmering Stephanos, you can see it's only at level 50, stage 1. I haven't done any investment into this weapon yet, but it comes with a skill that at max deals 110% damage 3 times and increases light damage by 30% for 15 seconds. I don't imagine that skill's too significant to Rion himself. However, this skill, in terms of making him a further support / healer for your team, it does revive dead allies at 20% at max ascension, or at max skill level, which is 11. So very, very nice there. And then for the abilities, the passives, you're going to get haste, which is 5% off of your skill cooldown time, and toughness, which if you pump a duplicate into it, you'll unlock. We know toughness is the HP passive increase. So really, really good staff to pair up with Rion to bring out his support capability. Next, we're looking at Gayle, who is featured in Chapter 2. You can see her base stats here with her rank amount. And for her passive, she gets an agility plus 40%. And for her second passive that you unlock, it is a water resistance of 25%. Looking at her damage to an 8,000 defense enemy, she gets the rank of A with 12,658. And then her character skill effect is a minus 10% cooldown. This is a one-time active skill, and I'm not quite sure what it does exactly. Maybe it lowers the cooldown for your weapon skills as well, but it looks like it's a 3-hit attack that deals a very sizable amount of damage. However, I'm not sure what this minus 10% cooldown is in regards to, so just speculating here that it decreases the cooldown time for your other weapon skills, but please, if you know, correct me if I'm wrong. She seems like, you know, with that emphasis on agility, she's just going to be a very, very fast, nice, hard-hitting attacker. Looking at her weapon in-game, the Blade of Parting 1, you can see I have put a little tiny bit of effort into it. It's at stage 2, and it comes with the following active skills. At max level, we're looking at 100% damage 4 times and increase wind damage by 30% for 15 seconds. That's quite a nice skill for her. I forgot to mention the cooldown times on these. They do change. It starts at a 25 second cooldown, and then it moves to a 23 second at max level. And then Final Pursuit is the next active skill at level 15. It is a 23 second cooldown as well. Deal 100% damage 4 times. 4 times chain or more increases damage by 40% for 15 seconds. So that's quite easy to meet as long as you kind of have her attack after your first DPS in whatever attack rotation you're doing. As long as you are above a 4-hit combo, this attack specifically is going to be dealing I assume 140% damage. But you know what, I think if we look back on that sheet, if you check back on that sheet, Yuuru does have the breakdown of the real effects, because we know that when we have these damage percent multipliers, it's not as easy as like, oh, deal 100% damage for the first 4 hits and then another 40% if we meet these conditions, so it's 140%. That's not always how the damage calculation works. There is a real percentage that can be figured out, so I think that's all laid out in the spreadsheet as well. But just know, if you're dealing after that 4-hit combo, you're going to be dealing a nice amount of extra damage with this skill. This weapon also comes with the haste ability, so at max level it gives you that 5% cooldown time, and then we have Fleet Foot, which is another 10% to your agility when maxed out. I should also note while looking at Gayle's column that this first agility plus 40% is a temporary 60-second passive, unlike Rion's permanent HP plus 40%. So I'll try and remember to mention whether it's a permanent or temporary, but also know you can find that information here as well. Looking at Dimos or Dimos, very, very cool looking dark form of him, I must say. You can see his base stats plus the rank 10 bonuses here. His passive 1 is an attack plus 40% for 60 seconds. And then here, like how I was saying, this is the real effect percentage that Yuuru calculates somehow. I'm not going to pretend like I know how that works exactly. But he also then gets his light resistance at a 25%, which is permanent. He's coming in within 11,533 against enemies with 8,000 defense, putting him at a B rank. And his character skill, so the active skill, doesn't have any effect, but it is an AoE attack at 250% damage for one hit, so nothing too crazy, but it's always nice to have an AoE attacker, so I think he is desirable for that reason. If we're looking at these numbers, you know, you've got Gayle with her single target hitting 125,000. It looks like at max damage, 8,000 defense enemies, you can deal a nice 86,500. So not the craziest, but still nice that that's hitting all of the enemies rather than just one. Looking at Dimos' dark weapon, we've got Treason's Reward. For the first active skill, we can see at level 15, it is a 23-second cooldown, deal 100% damage 4 times, and increase dark damage by 30% for 15 seconds. And then Treason's Vigor is another 4-hit, 23-second cooldown, 100% damage 4 times, and increase attack by 25% for 15 seconds. So very nice active skill there. This one comes with Haste, which is that cooldown time at level 15, and Vigor, which is a plus 10% to the... which is an extra 10% attack at level 11, if I'm not mistaken. So quite a nice gun weapon right here for Dimos. Then looking at a simp favorite, Akeha, right here in her white gown. Dark memory form, you can see her base stats and with the rank bonuses. For her first passive, she comes with a crit plus 40%. That is a temporary 60-second buff. Very nice to see a crit unit here. And then her second passive is a wind resistance of 25%. Looking at that damage, she's our first S rank in terms of damage with a 16,569 against an enemy with 8,000 defense. She also has this character minus 10% skill cooldown time. So again, don't know what that means exactly, so please check in the comments to see if anyone clarifies that. It is a one-time AoE attack at 200% damage. And I think just the fact that if you can get her crits off, it's even though it's at 200%, unlike Dimos's at 250, we can see that these average hits are increased, probably because with those crits she can deal a substantial amount of damage. So I do remember from Yuuru's video of him looking at all of these units. It's broken down very well in a very nice format, so make sure to go check him out as well. I believe Akeha here can be ran with a certain setup in PvP whenever we get Arena in the game. For our client, she can be ran to one-shot enemy teams, which sounds very tempting to me. She's probably one of the characters, one of the dark memory characters I'm going to prioritize for that reason. And then we have her weapon in game is the Pure Lotus 1. You can see I have been pretty busy with this weapon. Got it to stage 4 and looking at the active skills at max level 11, 23-second cooldown, deal 110% damage 3 times and increase fire damage by 30% for 15 seconds. Love to see damage multiplication. And then Pure Scorching Flash is another 23-second cooldown skill, 140% damage, and burn all enemies for 3 turns. So this sounds like an AoE within the weapon itself. So she's got 2 AoE attacks, which is very nice to see. And then for the weapon passive, she has the Haste ability, skill cooldown time, and Vigor, attack up by 10% at max level 15. Checking out the burly man himself, Argo. You can see his stats with the rank ups, and for passive, he actually gets damage 50%, but there is a condition: HP needs to be equal to 100%, which is not going to be a condition I think many are going to maintain most of the time, especially since there's no mechanic that I'm familiar with that, you know, focuses target on maybe one of your other characters, and there are a ton of AoE spamming monsters and enemies, so keeping that threshold is going to be tough, I imagine. But when you do have it, you're sitting at an extra 50% damage, which is quite significant. And for the second passive is a fire resistance of 25%. Against an enemy with 8,000 defense, we're coming in with a C tier amount of damage, 10,034, and I think that's with the 50% damage buff. So even with that 50% significant buff, it looks like his damage is still pretty low. And like it says here for the commentary, difficult condition to keep. So not looking too great. For the character skill effect, it gives him 100% defense, which is quite a big jump. I mean, that's double your defense with his character skill. It's a 10-second buff, but it looks like the real effect is 50% defense, interestingly enough. It is a 2-turn attack that smacks for about 490% damage, putting him at a 98,000 amount, which is quite nice. But again, that single target, you've got Akeha over here dealing, this potential for an AoE attack. So this guy's just looking like a bulky monster with no offensive power to show off whatsoever. And then checking out his spear, we've got the Four Seasons one. I've got it at a stage 2. Looking at the skills at max level, we're looking at 23 seconds, deal 100% damage 4 times, and increase water damage by 30% for 15 seconds. And then we've got Cyclic Toxin Flash. So at max, 140% damage to all enemies. How many times? I think it's just a one time. It's just before you've unlocked it, it doesn't actually show you. That's like a filler thing that it says times right here. But 140% damage to all enemies one time and inflict poison for 5 turns. So it's quite nice that he has an AoE with this spear equipped and a status affliction. Kind of makes sense. He's trying to wear down the enemies over time while he's surviving with his bulk. So I guess makes sense thematically, but not my cup of tea. I like that heavy burst offensive power. So probably Argo ain't a Dark Memory character I'm going to be chasing anytime soon. And then we've got 063Y, or as I've seen someone in the Discord call him, Ozzy, which I like. You can see his stats right here. In terms of his passive, he's got damage at 50%, so just like Argo, except his condition is that he needs to be sub 15% health, and that is low. I think right now, no. So if you've got a character if you've got him sitting at 100,000 health, he needs to be below 15,000 in order to get this damage buff, and I imagine it's a very significant buff. I think he's a little more offensive oriented than Argo is. However, that is a very, very tight window to get that buff. So that is part of his kit. And he also gets the light resistance 25% as his second passive. We can see that he does have A tier damage at 18,809. It is higher than Akeha's S tier. However, I think the fact that it has such a difficult condition to fulfill. Take away about a third of the damage here, it puts him at about a 12,000, which would make sense if you're just taking the numbers very literally. So that matches the A tier damage here, because even though he can hit 18,000 base damage versus that 8,000 defense enemy, I think more than not, you're not going to be hitting this big, huge amount. His character skill is also an attack that gives him 20% extra damage. Less HP equals more damage. So it's going to be a sliding scale of amount of damage he gets. On top of that, he's all about like deal massive damage when he's about to die. So we can easily see the theme of that within his kit. But look, I mean, if you're able to pull off that big max damage with those HP conditions fulfilled, homeboy's sitting at like 225,000 right here, which is just quite nuts. I also just put 2 and 2 together right here, that this AoE damage is this amount multiplied by 3. So I totally misspoke trying to compare Argo's single hit to Akeha's 99,000 AoE hit. These numbers are not the same, and they shouldn't have been compared at all. This is the single hit that's going to occur on the enemy, and then if you total all that damage, this is the number that is represented. So yeah, just wanted to disclaim that since I noticed it right now. And looking at Ozzy's weapon, we got BSE Type LS2. So I think I've been reading this number. I do think it actually increases as you level up these weapons. Looking at, as you can see, stage 6 on this weapon. It is the dark memory weapon I have the most upgraded. I am gunning for Ozzy. While his kit is going to require a very conditional HP threshold to take advantage of his big damage, his design, the fact that he's dark element, and then I want to go for the character we're going to look at next, who's of the light element. Just made sense to me to push this guy first. Little progress update. This is who I am now going after before his wifey or the healer, but let's not get too off track. Let's look at the weapon skills at max level 15. 23-second cooldown. I think that's going to be standard for all of the rest of them. Deal 110% damage 3 times and increase dark damage by 30% for 15 seconds. And then Slave's Caged Vigor. Deal 100% damage 4 times and damage increases by 75% when HP is under 15%. So another thematic move for Ozzy and his whole kit about being under that 15% HP threshold. I wish it was like a 50%, so it was just a lot more room to actually see these numbers in action. And I think it's reasonable because even when you're getting to 50%, you're getting close to the danger zone when you're taking on these more difficult, hard-hitting stages. But that's not the case. We have to get under 15%, which is way lower than I would be comfortable with. But I digress. His weapon comes with the haste, which this is a skill cooldown time of 10%. So now I'm realizing this actually got upgraded as I was evolving the weapon. So this skill cooldown time is actually going to increase. The max is not 5%. It's 5% at the stage that those other weapons are at. As you evolve these weapons, I believe it's going to bump up the threshold at which these skills can actually upgrade to. So keep that in mind. So this skill cooldown time is going to go way higher than 5% the more that you evolve these weapons. And then it also comes with Vigor, which is that 10% at skill level 15. And then looking at the last character before I am covering the portraits, we've got F66X. I call her Fox. I don't know if there is a community term or nickname for her, but I call her Fox. You can see her base stats here with the rank up. And she comes with a 60-second defensive buff of plus 40% as one of her passives. And then she has Dark Resistance 25% as her second passive. In terms of damage, she's sitting at the D rank, the lowest among the first characters that we've looked at. But her skill effect seems pretty effective. It's a 60% stun, one time, 2 hit. That can actually deal 490% per hit, so 980%. Quite a nice 66,000. Not mad at that for a support style character like Fox is. But this stun mechanic, I haven't seen. I don't have a character that can do this. So it's very intriguing to me, and I think it provides incredible utility. Right now, the closest thing, that we have or that I have to rendering an enemy mob useless is by blinding them and hoping that they miss their attacks. But stunning is just completely immobile. I see stun and I like it a lot. So she's definitely my target after I pick up Ozzy and hopefully use him to clear her light element trials. And then we have her staff here, the BSE Type MW. I do have it at a stage 4 because it was the weapon and character I was first going after, but I'm having a lot of trouble beating some of her trials with the way that she works. But in terms of her skills, we're looking at deal 100% damage 4 times and increase light damage by 30% for 15 seconds. And then Slave's Valiance Mending, recover 15% HP for all allies and increase attack by 15% for 10 seconds. I believe that attack increase is applied to the team as well. So a 15% AoE heal plus 15% attack for the team for 10 seconds is quite a nice support ability on this staff. She is also coming with the haste, which is still at that 5% potential, but I imagine as I keep increasing the stages, that'll jump up as we saw with the sword. And then toughness gives her that HP 10% buff. Moving down over here so we can see the next character we're going to look at. He is Lars, the kid soldier. Very dope unit, as we're going to see. I got a little briefing of him before I'd made this video. There are his stats with rank, and in terms of his passive, he's got crit damage plus 40% for 60 seconds, wind resistance 25% as his second passive, and we can see he's also an S tier character at 14,800, still less than Akeha, but very impressive to be an S tier damage dealer in my opinion. For his character skill effect, it's damage 100%, crit hits. Okay, so if he crits on these hits, they're going to be 100% from what I'm seeing, or from what I'm understanding here. It's a 3-hit attack. Each hit can deal 330% damage. It looks like if they're all criticals, he has the potential to deal almost 2,000% damage with this skill, yielding you a 293,000 max potential damage, which is quite wild. Again, that is going to require all hits to be criticals on his character skill, but still insane. If you just stack this man with crit rate for the first 60 seconds of battle, dude's gonna be Hulk smashing the field, which is quite cool. Just a very, 60 seconds, Lars is a burst damage fiend. So I like that design. It sucks that it is limited, it is time locked, but it is what it is. And then we have his sword. I've got at stage 3. I am actually working to get it to stage 4 so I can unlock his normal dailies in the Dark Memory stages. But looking at the active skills at level 15, same cooldown, deal 100% damage 4 times and increase fire damage by 30% for 15 seconds. And perfect ambush, 100% damage times 4, and increase critical rate by 25% for 15 seconds. So you're going to want to pop this ability before you use his main character skill. That's pretty insane. Critical rate plus 25%. Also comes with the haste skill and ambush, which is another crit up by 10% once you unlock it to level 15. So dude is a crit monster, which is very cool. I like his kit a lot. I actually might focus him. It's between him and Akeha. I don't know which one I'm gonna get after the husband and wife duo that I'm looking at right now. And getting to the last character that we're going to look at for this video, we've got, as it says here, Griff, but in game his name is Griff. He's got the stats right here, as you can see, plus the rank up bonuses. And for his passive, he's got damage 50%, 5 combo. Okay, I think its damage is increased by 50% if there are 5 or more hits within the combo. So you want to have this guy attacking later in the combo so he gets this effect when you pop his active skill. Pretty cool. Water resistance 25%. So you want to be using this guy's hits at the end of your combo chain so you can be above that 5-hit combo threshold in which Griff is getting this 50% extra damage. Pretty cool passive right there. And then he does have water resistance of 25%. He's coming in at B tier damage because I guess Yuuru is still considering this a difficult condition to meet. If you're saving up all of your attacks and then putting this guy at the end of your combo so he's attacking at that 20-hit combo mark, then I'm sure his damage is looking quite nice. But without that, I think this is factoring in his extra 50% damage, so it still seems like he's probably got a low attack. I haven't even looked at these people's attacks. Yeah, look at this. Griff sitting at a 3,800 base attack, where you've got Ozzy right here at 5,300, Lars 5,100, Akeha 59, almost 6,000. So yeah, dude's attack drags him down so hard, which is quite a shame. His character skill effect, so his active skill is an attack plus 20% and a combo counter. Interesting. 15 seconds, I see. So maybe if you activate this for 15 seconds, if the enemy's going to attack you, you stop them from attacking and you counter with this move. Maybe from what I'm getting. It's a 5-hit combo. Can deal up to 1,500%. So brings him up to 176,000, which is quite substantial. It sounds like that's a very nice combo for maybe certain bosses that you want to avoid getting hit by them, and then you can basically counter them with some very sizable damage. So I'm not sleeping on it. I see you, Griff. I see what you're bringing to the table. Nothing too crazy like we've seen the potential of some of these other characters, you know, but it's definitely something interesting. Combo counter, I'm interested to know the exact mechanics of that skill. So if anyone knows already, because you're, you know, privied from the JP version, please let me know. And I almost forgot to look at Homeboy's weapon. We've got the Handgun of Aid. Looks like for his first skill, it is a 100% damage 4 times and increase wind damage by 30%. So standard damage buff to the element of the weapon. And we have Aid's Fleetfoot, 60% damage times 4, combo count dependent, and increase agility by 25% for 15 seconds. Combo count dependent. I don't know what that means at all. Maybe it increases the damage. Oh, hello. I can read the actual skill instead of going here where the descriptions are kind of funky. So it's going to deal at max level 60% damage to one enemy 4 times, but the damage increases based on the combo and increases then your agility for at max 25%. I'm not sure how much that damage gets increased up to. Maybe up to 100% depending on the combo. So this guy you want attacking towards the end of the combo from what I'm seeing. So makes sense. For the passives, he's got haste. All of these dark weapons come with haste, which is a 10% cooldown. Well, I don't know how much it's going to be at max stage 11. Probably, what, 15-20% cooldown at the pace that we're going up. So quite a nice reduction in cooldown. And then Fleetfoot, as we know, is an agility increase of 10% at max level. Oh man, that's gonna do it, y'all. That was quite a lengthy video to review all of these guys and just the kits, the skills, and some of the highlighted details I wanted to look at. Not even all, I didn't even get to touch on all of the specifics in this spreadsheet, so please go check it out. Join the Discord. Yuuru's always posting some very, very helpful resources and guides, along with a lot of the other community. I've just learned so much, and was excited when he posted this up today to review it, make a video about it. So again, huge thank you and shout out to him. Go follow him, go subscribe to him over on his channel, Nier Re and Math. Which character is looking good, nice and juicy for you? I think I saw that there is a global, there is an American client player that has one of these characters unlocked, which is absolutely insane to me. The amount of just man hours that they had to put into that is quite insane, literally. So props to them. I don't know the name. I haven't actually seen it with my own eyes. It's just something I saw in the Discord chat. So let me know who you're interested in getting first. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification if you want to help your boy Buddha out, and tell the algorithm that you like seeing Nier content from me, because I'm still loving the game, enjoying it, and I want to push out content that's entertaining, useful to you guys. And that's it. Hopefully be an asset to the Nier community. I'm going to keep doing my grinding. And like we always say, work hard, play harder. See you in the next video.